I was wrong. The complete antithesis of what I predicted would happen in the election. I was spectacularly wrong on everything in this election. On every single thing. Man, did I get this one wrong. Am I embarrassed by it? Kinda. Yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed by it. What you gotta do is you gotta be a man. You gotta own your mistakes, especially when you're making your mistakes as publicly as I am. Personally, like, it's probably good for me. Trump is probably good for me as a content creator. There were several content creators that rode the Trump wave to fame and glory in 2016. Leftist content creators tend to do better when there's an opposition party to rant against in the White House. But I personally, for the good of the country, wanted a Harris presidency. But I mean, I'll look on the bright side and say, hey, Troll Patrol, 4 years of Trump. It's gonna be a wild one. I mean, I'm not gonna tear up over something. I'm not going to, but I'm not gonna mock somebody for doing it. Like, I've had the conversation with several right-wingers. It's like, it's not about policy with you. There were enough people in this country to vote for a meme candidate that's mean to people. That's mean to people you don't like. And then cries when people are mean to him. You know, it'd be one thing if we could all have good fun and everybody had thick skin, everybody could deal with it. But that's not how the right operates. They call you garbage and you're supposed to, take a joke. You call them garbage, holy shit. It's a 5-alarm nightmare. I don't know if mad's the word that I would use. Now, there are people, and Warlord posted it in the Discord, and I noticed it on Twitter when I was getting ready for the show. There are people calling for Kamala not to concede-a-la. Call for a recount-a-la. Because they feel that there was interference-a-la. And look, I've seen no evidence whatsoever that there was interference of any kind. There's a reason why we have decentralized elections. Every county administers their own elections, so that it is virtually impossible to steal, and to do it across 7, 8, 9 states, whatever the fuck it was. Like, something smells fishy because it bucks the trends. As I said, there was no reason to doubt the trends, but apparently there was. But until you get any evidence of anything, that's just fucking cope, and don't do that. Learn to feel embarrassment and don't do the cope. There's a lot of things, and we may eventually realize that there was enough people purged from the rolls, that there were enough ballots challenged in all the states to actually swing the election. We may learn that. We have no evidence of it right now, and we don't want to act. We're above being like the MAGAs. So, dude, take your frustrations out on the DNC. Because even if there was something funky that happened, it's the DNC's fault for letting it be this close that they could pull something funky to let it happen. So go ahead, unload on the DNC. Joe Biden in particular is who I believe you need to blame. He should have stepped aside long before he did.
Come on, man.
Hello, I'd like to take away my own human rights, please. Calling for recounts ain't making up fraud. However, like, there's some, it feels fishy. Somebody who absorbs elections. There are several that will be recounted. Possibly Hovde and Baldwin, because they were separated by like half a percentage point last time I saw. There are several places there will be recounts. It's going to be interesting to see what the final tallies are. What would it be? Something like 200 grand in Georgia. Again, I just want to say right here at the top of the show, I was wrong. Completely. The complete antithesis of what I predicted would happen in the election. After being close on every other election we've covered here on the Troll Patrol, I was spectacularly wrong on everything in this election. On every single thing. So, on me, I guess I was smoking the copium or whatever the fuck, or the hopium, however the kids say it nowadays. Get any chuds come in here and claim that, you know, I didn't take responsibility for being wrong. Top of the show. Fuck, was I wrong. Man, did I get this one wrong. Fuck, was I wrong on this one. may even have to shave my head because of this bullshit. Fuck. That's how outlandish I thought it would be. I did not want to have to shave my head again. I thought that at some point in time that Donald Trump would actually get indicted and I would have to shave my head. I was kind of wanting to do it. That's why I threw it out there. This time, said it because I thought it had no chance of happening whatsoever. And boy, am I eating my words on that one. Am I embarrassed by it? Kinda. Yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed by it. What you gotta do is you gotta be a man. You gotta own your mistakes, especially when you're making your mistakes as publicly as I am. Boy, was I fucking wrong. And not only that, it's still a little early to tell exactly what the contributing factors are, but it appears that had the Democratic Party had Harris separated herself from Biden on Gaza, it appears that might have been enough to put her over the edge. I'll eat another one on that one as well. I was wrong on that. Harris was probably doing the right strategy to try to appeal to the right because she didn't have fucking time. How else do you animate 20,000 voters in Pennsylvania? But also, I pointed out the danger in that the enthusiasm are with the people who care about Gaza. People who are going to go knock on doors for you, the people who are going to make phone calls, text for you, they care about Gaza. Suppress them. Hurt your ground game. However, Harris seemed to run a really good ground game. The results are baffling. I made my prediction based upon the fact that Trump had stupid people running his ground game and that I didn't think his people were going to come out to vote, but they absolutely did. I love, and Mox, here's the thing, and this is the thing that's infuriating. Moving to the center pissed off the left, and apparently that is exactly who Harris sees. So Mary Jane, I owe you an apology. Still a little soon to tell, but the indicators are that I think I saw polls that 30% of people who didn't vote would have been motivated to vote if she had broken with Biden on Gaza. 30% of people who didn't vote registered Democrats in Georgia. And a very similar number in Michigan. Once again, the Democratic Party are not the left. They weren't trying to appeal to the left. They ran a campaign where, like, normie Republicans, hey, come over here. People that are sick of Donald Trump's shit and just want a return to normalcy. That's what they were selling. Country rejected it. I was wrong in my reading of the election. Boy, you guys are going to hate me for one of the things I have on the list here. Before we get to it, I'm going to let Chris Matthews scold all of you. How do you like that? Chris Matthews is going to lecture us here in a little bit. I'm going to make you guys listen to it. How Trump, and it's not that I think Democrats are good. They're just like less bad than Trump. And I really don't think a value judgment to a political party is kind of difficult. I don't expect politicians to do good things just because they're good things and politicians are good people. I don't feel that it works that way. You have to build a coalition and demand things of politicians. And I get frustrated with the left because I feel that they always put the onus on the politician running and the party apparatus. I think the onus is on us. The party is just a reflection of us and who we are. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not kinda reasonable. I'm fucking right. I hate MAGA because MAGA is toxic. Your entire worldview is based on hating people that are different than you. And then you turn around and say shit like you're for individual liberty and bullshit like that. But you want everybody to conform into your tiny little box. Bud Light has a trans content creator have like a special can for March Madness because they want to reach a different audience because this is capitalism and that's what happens. You guys throw a fucking shit fit over it. And I find that shit maddening. It's toxic. It's derogatory because you default to demagoguery. Allow politicians to demagogue about trans people, about the LGBTQ community, about immigrants. That's easier than having a policy for the actual, running of the country. Whereas the Democrats at least offer a adult solution. They offer policies that I can describe to people that aren't rounding people up in vans and deporting them from the country, which will, one, wreck our economy because we have enough workers to work the farms, the factories, and probably the hospitality industry as well. Everything will fucking collapse. The amount of money that you will spend, it's like fucking 10 grand a head just to round them up and deport. And that's if you can just go straight to where, like, where they are and deport them. It's a humongous waste of resources for what? Cause you're pissed off people are here trying to make it. Fucking immigrants aren't your enemy. Just hardworking people trying to get ahead as well as you are. And the fact, like, you don't believe in freedom if you don't think somebody can fucking walk across the border and come here any goddamn time they want. I always ask Americans, don't you feel that you should be able to go live anywhere else in the world that you want? Yeah. Every fucking American says yes. I should be able to go live wherever in the world I want. Yeah, that's the way things work because we should have freedom of movement. That's a thing about people being free. Immigration is a human right, absolutely. Hannah, do you wanna have a conversation with me? Brother, I can just go across the border to Canada anytime I want right now. If you want to have a conversation with me, you need to call in 917-830-4359. Hop in the Discord. I hit bang Discord in the chat, so he's got a link. Otherwise, we're gonna find out what that news be doing. Well, if you shit the bed, I've got some advice for you.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
Flash, did I tell you good evening? Anybody else sneak in here on me? Uncle Jim. T minus. I don't know if I told you good evening. New name. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. I think I got everybody. John Andrew. I personally, like, it's probably good for me. Trump is probably good for me as a content creator. There were several content creators that rode the Trump wave to fame and glory in 2016. Leftist content creators tend to do better when there's an opposition party to rant against in the White House. But I personally, for the good of the country, wanted a Harris presidency. But I mean, I'll look on the bright side and say, hey, Troll Patrol, 4 years of Trump. It's going to be a wild one. 4 more years. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows if there's even going to be an election in 2028? Hard to say, but I'll be right here with you guys for it.